Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another melted video. So last week I actually melted Super Tarts all week long, and I got through a fair amount of packaging, and yes and no. I got through, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 clamshells. I emptied out, and then everything else that I melted was scents that I have in bulk. So they're really, they're definitely not going to be empty. But I did get some of the clamshells out of the way, which is awesome because some of them I needed to melt and just move on because some of them were old. Like old from before she started putting scent notes on the labels, which was over a year ago. So I'm going to go ahead and go over what I melted. I will start with the clamshells so I can get them out of the way. So I did finish off a 2-year-old clamshell of Silence of the Lambs. This is red Chianti, blackberry, cherry, and raspberry, I think. It is just a fruity, boozy scent. I melted this in my bedroom. I want to say the first night, maybe the second night of Super Tarts week. I love this one. This one is just a really nice, fruity, slightly boozy scent. It's marketed as a Fright Night or Halloween scent, but it melts more like a spring and summer scent for me. So I finished this off. This was in my bedroom warmer, so my 25-watt Scentsy bulb warmer. It did, it did just fine. This is not one that's like a super strong thrower, but I wouldn't consider it weak either. It was a steady medium, and this was one that I melted before bed one night, and it was one where I could still smell it when I woke up the next morning. So had good luck with this one, even though it's either, I don't remember if I got this Halloween 2015 or Halloween 2014, but it was an old one that needed to be melted and be done. So I love this one. It's a repurchase for me when I can and when I have the room to put it somewhere. Silence of the Lambs, love that one. Wicked is another one that I melted in my bedroom, and I actually still have 2 cubes left of this one, but this is another old one. As you can see, there are no scent notes on the label. This is pistachio, toasted marshmallow, and sugar cookie. I love this one. This one will always and forever be a repurchase for me. This is more of an amaretto pistachio than the like cherry fruity one. And then with the marshmallow and sugar cookie, you really can't go wrong. Brandy's sugar cookie is actually one of my favorite sugar cookies on the market. Usually I go for fresh scents when it comes to Super Tarts, but her sugar cookie is so good that when I see it in a blend, I grab it. I melted Sam's Shire. This one I melted all throughout the house. It was a daytime melt, so this one was melted in my 20-watt Glade warmers and my Candle Air, which is a 30-watt hot plate warmer with a fan. This did extremely well. This is fresh cut grass, watermelon, and rock candy. To my nose, it's like 90% fresh cut grass. And then it's just sweetened up a little bit with the watermelon and rock candy. I'm all about the fresh cut grass scents right now. People are starting to get out and mow their lawns where I live, and I love scents like that. So I enjoyed this one immensely. This one threw for probably 8 hours. Probably a good solid 8 hours before I changed it out. So very nice scent. This is another older one. This is from the very first time she put the scent notes on the label. So the clamshell's getting up there in age. You can see like the green dye like transferred over to the plastic. It did that with Wicked too. Like some of the dye just transferred over to the plastic, and like it won't go anywhere. So that happens with some of these older clamshells. It didn't affect the smell in this case, but I'm glad that I got that one emptied out. I melted Dr. Jekyll, fizzy papaya soda, and sweet lollipop. I posted on Instagram. This one has the same sweet lollipop that's in Mouse Ears, which Mouse Ears is one that always sells out instantly whenever she has it. Like, she'll put it on the website and it is gone. That one is lemonade and lollipops. This is fizzy papaya soda and lollipops, but if you love one or you can't get your hands on Mouse Ears, you'll probably love the other one. This was an extremely well performing wax. This was a daytime melt throughout the house again, so in the glades and the candle air. This one through for probably 12 hours before I changed it out, because I had put it in and it was a day that I was literally in and out of the house all day. In and out, in and out, in and out. And every time I walked in, I could still smell it, and I was like, dang, this is so good. And then finally I changed it out. But this one did very well. This will be 100% a repurchase for me. I also melted Loki's Tricks. This is always, always, always a repurchase for me. My number 2 Super Tarts scent. It is lemon icebox pie, Tricks, and frosted rose jam. I love Brandy's rose jam. It's probably my favorite of all the rose jam dupes. And then she amps it up with the Tricks and the lemon icebox pie. This is the only, scent that has a cereal note in it that I can stomach. And that's really because the rose jam just kills it. I don't really get the cereal at all. But this is like an extra lemony, extra fruity rose jam. That's what this reminds me of. So this was an all throughout the house evening melt. So again, in the glades and the candle air. This one melted. I put it in, I want to say like 8 o'clock or 8:30. And just melted it until I went to bed. And then the next morning I could still smell it lingering in the air. So this one's always a strong performer for me. Then I melted Briarcliff, Mac Apple, shaving cream, and sea salt. This was one of my favorite things that I melted all week. Now, granted, I melted probably my top 6 scents this particular week. Like, literally everything that was like, I'm obsessed with this scent, I added it into the rotation. But this was like the surprise favorite that I didn't know I was going to love it as much as I did once it hit the warmers and started melting. This is Mac Apple shaving cream and sea salt. This is so good. I mean, it's mostly apple, and you smell that on cold and when it's warming, the same thing. It is, you're gonna have to like apple to like this. And then the shaving cream just makes it like extra fresh. And then the sea salt too. I mean, it's just a really, really, really nice fresh Mac apple scent. That's what my nose picked up. This was like the surprise underdog favorite thing that I melted. This was, I believe, an evening melt throughout the house. This threw like a beast. Like a beast from like 10 seconds after I put it in the warmer. It was throwing. It was so, so good. And this one is a 150% repurchase for me. I melted Who Are You? This is sea salt, cherry wood, tobacco leaf, driftwood, and lime zest. So another fresh blend. I melted this throughout the house. It was a daytime melt. This one is extremely strong. Extremely strong. And the cherry wood, tobacco, and the driftwood, I mean, it's definitely a spa scent. So, like, not even just fresh, but spa. Even a little bit perfumey. It is a solid, solid performer. Super strong. Almost ran me out of the house, to be 100% honest. I had to actually turn off the candle air because it was that strong. And that's a good thing. It really, really is a good thing. And a lot of times Super Tarts will do that. But it was definitely a good experience. It threw for a billion hours. No, I mean, like, realistically, it probably threw for a good 10, 11, 12 hours. Really, really long time thrower on that one. Then I melted My Pretty. This is rose jam glazed strawberries, maca apple whipped cream, and fluffy cake bites. So I love her rose jam. I love her maca apple. Really can't go wrong with this one. What I smell mostly is the rose jam and the strawberry, followed by the apple. This was a really good, another good solid performer. I think this was either a daytime or an evening melt. It was all throughout the house. And this one performed for probably 8-9 hours. And it was medium to strong. I mean, all of her stuff is at least a medium, except for one, which I'll get to. But her stuff is all medium to strong, and some of it, like, super strong. So this one was a medium to strong. I enjoyed it. I'll probably repurchase it down the road a little bit. As far as her rose jam blends, I do prefer Loki's Tricks. But this was very nice. Very, very nice. The last clamshell is She's a Wildflower. This was a daytime melt last weekend. Flower Garden, Blue Sugar, and Potting Soil. You guys know I love my dirt scents. I love anything like this that's like dirt and kind of floral. Not for every day, but I do crave florals every once in a while, especially this time of year. I was concerned about this one because people were saying that the Flower Garden part smelled like lavender. And lavender I can't melt. It'll run me right to my inhaler instantly. This did not irritate me. I'm not going to say that there's not lavender in it, but if there is, it was such a trace amount that it didn't irritate me at all. I was at home all day that day with it melting, and I was ready any minute to have to turn it off and switch it out, and that didn't happen. So I do like this one. This is a nice floral. I do love the dirt, and then the Blue Sugar is like a perfumey cologne type scent. This is a really, really, really nice one. So we'll probably repurchase that one when I am craving florals. But no, it didn't irritate me at all. And then I melted, one night I melted Cotton Candy Mistletoe, which was a leftover from the Advent calendar. It was a night that it was like super rainy, and it dropped down to like 33 degrees, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It's almost May. But it did. So I melted this. This is a sweet mistletoe scent. So mistletoe's super, super green, like a Christmas tree, almost like exactly like a Christmas tree scent or like a wreath. And then the cotton candy just sweetens it up just a little bit. It's overwhelmingly still to my nose Christmas tree, but I do like this one. And this is one from the Advent that I'd love to see her this holiday make it into a house blend, because I thoroughly enjoyed this. And this one I melted it in my bedroom. I think I said that already, but melted this one in my bedroom, and it was a little bundt cake, and it performed, gosh, 16, 17 hours, because the next day when I got home from work, I could still smell it. I mean, it wasn't kicking, but it was still there. So that is all my empty packaging. Everything else is stuff that I purchased in bulk. So I melted like 1 or 2 pieces, or maybe melted it all over the house, but it's not empty packaging. So I melted Mother of Dragons and Mother of God is what I have to say about this one. Satsuma and Sweet Pineapple. This was one where when I opened the packaging, when I received this in the mail and I opened the package, I could smell, like as soon as I started tearing open the box, I could smell it. It was so intense. And I'd actually forgotten that I ordered it. And I was like, what smells so good? But this is Satsuma and Sweet Pineapple. This is one that I melted all over the house during the day. It threw for probably close to 14 hours. It was a day where right when I was going to change out the wax, I left and was gone for a while. And I walked back in my house like 3 hours later. and it hit me right away. In fact, it was still kicking when I pulled it. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I totally understand why this is always sold out. So good. I want this in body care. I want this in room spray. I want my life to smell like Mother of Dragons right now. It's so freaking good. So, yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. And then I melted, let me get this one out of the way. I melted mouse ears. So this is the Sweet Lollipops and Ice Lemonade. And look at this. This used to be a beautiful super pan. And it was one of those super pans that had like bacon, and it was like a bacon and eggs one. There's just really no way to cut those things without shattering the heck out of them. I've never done a super pan cutting video because I can't cut it without shattering it. Like even when I've tried to microwave it for a little bit, I just hack the crap out of it. But that's okay. It smells amazing. This is not in my top 5, believe it or not. This is like my number 6. This comes right after my top 5. But it's so good. I mean, I could melt this like literally every day in the summer and not get tired of it, not be sad at all. This is super, super, super tart lemonade. And then the lollipop. This is a candy, like a tart candy scent to my nose. This reminds me, Lindsay Love actually said this in a video, and she's spot on. It smells like Crystal Light or Kool-Aid powder. Like if you get that Kool-Aid powder up your nose and it's like a jolt to the system and it's like super tart and like bam, that is what this smells like to me. Absolutely fantastic blend. Like performs stellar every time for hours and hours and hours and hours. This one I melted in my bedroom last night. I just melted some little shards of the loaf and walked in there when I was grabbing this stuff, like probably 20 minutes ago, and I can still smell it. So it's been a good 16, 17 hours and I can still smell it. So that is the performance of mouse ears. But like I was saying, if this is something that you can't get your hands on because it always sells out in a hot minute, try Dr. Jekyll because they're quite similar. It doesn't have the lemonade, but the idea behind it, they're quite similar. Okay. One night in my bedroom, I melted Sisters. This is a advent calendar blend that came to life and became a thing shortly afterward in like a one-time, as far as I know, she hasn't released it in clamshells, but like one time that she had super pans, she let us order this. Sisters, it is a blend of 2 of her house blends, Anna and Elsa. Anna is sugar cookie marshmallow, and Elsa is cotton candy ice cream. So to my nose, I like melting this predominantly in my bedroom when I'm craving like soft girly bakery. Predominantly to my nose, this smells like vanilla frosting. It's a great vanilla bakery scent. This one's not going to corner you, shove you against the wall, but it does perform very well. And it's another one that will throw like crazy. It's different than melting a fresh scent or a fizzy or fruity scent. When you melt bakery and it throws really well, it's still going to be more subtle than like a fruity or fizzy or fresh scent. But it did perform very, very well, and it always does every single time I melt it. So if she ever releases that again in like clamshells or bags, and you like just that nice pure vanilla bakery frosting type scent, try Sisters. Super good. Middle Earth. Oh my gosh, Middle Earth. So Middle Earth is dirt, rosemary, and fresh mint leaf. This is another one in my top 5. I would say it's probably my number 3. This is just a beautiful scent. I absolutely love Brandy's dirt scent. I absolutely love the mint she uses and the rosemary. This is just spectacular. This is another one that always sells out in a hot minute when it's available. I also have this in perfume. Oh my gosh, it's so good in a perfume, you guys. So good in perfume. But this one is always a solid performer every single time I melt it. And I like melting it especially in my bedroom. And honestly, I can't remember if that's where I melted it or did I melt it all over the house. I can't remember, you guys. I'm sorry. But any place that I've ever melted this, I think it was in my bedroom. Any place that I've ever melted this, it throws like a boss for probably close to 24 hours. I mean, I can still walk in the room if I just leave my warmer on for the full day and I walk in the room the next day, I'm still going to be able to pick up the dirt and mint. It's such a good blend. This is one that a lot of people talk about loving for migraines or headaches in general. This is one I tend to gravitate towards when I'm not feeling good or even when I'm stressed out. It's such a beautiful, beautiful scent. And then I melted Annabeth. So this one I melted in the evening, I think the very first night that I did Super Tarts Week. This is saltwater taffy and pink sugar. This is the one where I said I'm going to come back around to it. Okay, so the first night that I melted this, I had a really hard time smelling it. When I did the like all over the house melting, I had a really rough time smelling it. And that never happens with Super Tarts. I never get a dud with Super Tarts. Super, super rarely. And this is a scent that a lot of people talk about. A lot of people love this scent. I had never had it before I bought the BAM bag. But when I melted it, I was like, what is going on? Because I love saltwater taffy scents. And I love pink sugar. And it smells really good on cold. And I was extremely frustrated. Why couldn't I smell it? Why was I having such a hard time smelling it? And no, they're not the strongest notes in the world. But I was shocked that I was melting anything from Super Tarts that I was struggling with. So what I did last night, when I knew I was wrapping up Super Tarts Week, I melted another scent throughout the house, except in my bedroom. I went ahead and put this in my bedroom for just a few hours in the evening to see how it did. Now, keep in mind, I only left it on my bedroom warmer for about 4 hours. So I did pull it early, but I wanted to see if I could smell it in there. And I was able to smell it in my bedroom. It was a solid medium in my bedroom. This one was not ever a strong performer for me, but I was able to smell it in my bedroom. It was a solid medium. So what I'm probably going to do with this one is just keep it isolated to my bedroom. So when I'm craving a saltwater taffy scent, I will pop one of these bad boys in my bedroom warmer and run with it because it did perform very well in my bedroom. So I don't know what was going on with the rest of the house. All right, I melted Wanna Play. So this is another one from the Advent calendar that became a reality for like a one-time thing, or at least thus far, it's only been for a one-time thing. This is a blend of two house blends, Anastasia and Gray. So Anastasia is a blend of English breakfast black tea, plum, and powdered sugar. And then Gray is Acqua di Gio, new car smell, and honeysuckle. So there's a lot going on in this, a lot going on. So I would classify this as spa. I would also classify this as perfumey. I love it. This is not going to be for everyone. I mean, you get leather in this. You get the cologne. You get tea. I mean, you really got to like complex scents and stuff that like not every vendor is going to carry, or you're not going to like this. In fact, there are people that I've talked to that liked it during the Advent calendar when it was like a one-day thing, and then bought bags of it and they don't like it anymore. So I don't know. I do like it. I definitely have to be in a certain mood to melt it because it's an extremely strong performer, and one of the fragrances that comes into the forefront is the leather. So again, you know, it's not going to be for everyone. I absolutely love it. Solid performer. This was an evening melt throughout the house, and I mean, it melted. I could still smell it the next morning when I changed out my warmers. So that is Wanna Play. 2 more. So I melted Jaws. Sorry, excuse that. I melted Jaws, and it was a throughout the house scent. And I can't remember if it was daytime or evening. But, so this is, what are the notes on this one? It is sea salt, fresh air, seagrass, sliced plum, and sweet pear. The reason there's a price tag on this is because this was one that was actually in the Super Tarts retail store. And I actually won this on a Facebook group live video. So that's why it has the price tag on it. But I will show you. I haven't cut into all of this. I had cut a couple of pieces off. But I will show you what this one looks like. So that is part of the super pan that I haven't cut. This is an amazing spa scent. An absolutely amazing spa scent. This is one I talked on Instagram about. I had melted some Jaws that was 2 years old that I found in my daughter's stash that was stored in a Ziploc bag. Ziploc bags are a huge no-no. They suck the scent right out of the wax. You want to use polypropylene bags only, not Ziploc bags, not polyethylene, not poly anything other than polypropylene. Well, this was stored in a Ziploc bag. And so I threw it in my bathroom warmer just for the heck of it, and that sucker threw for over 24 hours. So that is the testament to this particular scent. This is also in my top 5. I think this one I would put at probably number 4. And I love it. I absolutely love this scent. It is just the absolute perfect spa blend. Now, actually, now that I'm trying to think about what my, because I said I melted all 5 of my top scents, and I'm trying to think of what number 5 is, because number 4 is Jaws, number 3 is Middle Earth, number 2 is Loki's Tricks. Maybe it is Mouse Ears. Maybe Mouse Ears isn't number 6. Maybe it's number 5. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. But they're all good. They're all gold. Okay? They're all gold. And then last night throughout the house, melted my all-time favorite Tate. This is Sweater Weather, Cotton Candy, and Blackberry. This is my absolute favorite Super Tart scent. Solid performer every single time. This one is a, like, fresh, I would consider this spa. I would definitely consider this spa. Sweater Weather is a juniper berry, sage, and eucalyptus scent. If you get it by itself, and especially if you get it from Bath & Body Works, it's ridiculously potent. Like, it's actually too much for me. But Vendor Sweater Weather is a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit calmer. It's just more spa-like. And this one blended with the blackberry and cotton candy. Oh, this is so good. I have this in every form that she's made it in up until this point. I have it in perfume. I have it in room spray. I have it in a lotion. I have it in shower gel. I'm obsessed with Tate. Obsessed with Tate. So this one, like, there's no question. It'll always be a repurchase for me. This is another one that's always sold out, though, unfortunately. Unless she decides for whatever reason to restock it. which she will. I mean, that's the style of her store, is that she'll restock stuff as it gets poured. So whenever they get around to pouring the American Horror Story scents again, they'll have Tate, but it'll probably sell out really quickly. So, because it's good. It's really good. I can't recommend this one enough. So, yes, I would say good, solid, strong melting week for Super Tarts. She is in my top 5 vendors. I absolutely love Brandy. She's a wonderful person. I love dealing with her, and her product is great. And I love the different scents that she comes up with. Some of the combinations are a little off the wall, but they usually end up working really well. So I recommend Super Tarts any day. She's probably one of the most popular vendors. I know her Facebook group is one of the largest. There's well over 5,000 members, like almost 6,000 members. And the way that she cranks out, her and her team crank out the wax so that they're able to stay open almost all the time. She's come so far from a couple of years ago when she would open up for custom, she'd say, I'm opening up for custom band bars, and it's a limit of 2, and I'm gonna pour 100 of them, so go, and it would sell out in 2 or 3 minutes, and then other people couldn't get stuff. She's come so far from there, and I'm super proud of her. I do consider her a friend. Most of these vendors, I've gotten to know them over the years, so not only do I love their products, but I love them as people too. But yes, Super Tarts, I'd recommend her all day, every day to anybody. So that is it for Super Tarts week. I don't know if I'm doing a video next week, if I'm doing a melted, because things are a little different next week. I'm actually testing for a brand new vendor. So I'm going to have to find out how she feels about me doing a melted video on her. Some vendors that are brand spanking new are totally fine with it. Others are more hesitant to do something like that prior to them really opening up and, becoming widely available. So I'll try to find out. There may not be a melted video next week. But the 3 weeks after that, I'm doing Glitterati. I'm doing Candles from the Keeping Room, and I'm doing Candy Panda. And then after that, if I continue to do melted videos, it's going to be more random, because I'm not going to do the one vendor per week anymore after the month of May. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have an excellent rest of your weekend. Bye.